Hey friends, welcome back. Can you honestly say that you aren't struggling with food to some extent? Some aspect of food isn't causing you stress in your life right now. Think about virtually everybody that you know, your family and your friends. How many people do you know that aren't struggling with food to some extent? Whether people are sick or healthy, most people find food stressful in some way. Either it's taking up more time or physical energy or mental energy. Oh my goodness, the mental energy that food can take up. Or it's confusing what to eat. There's so much conflicting information out there, or it's just costing too much money, or all of the above. Most of us are struggling with food. So if you think you could benefit from some tools, think if you even just pick up one thing that makes your life easier, stick around because this video is for you. So I've struggled with food for most of my life, and I've worked really hard in recent years to find better ways of doing things. I've had massive raging sugar addictions for years. I was a yo-yo dieter. When I got sick, developed all these food intolerances. I've had massive body image issues, which ties into all of this, and just overall a kind of obsession with food in a way that for years it just felt like a battle and something that was very confusing and something that a lot of the times I wish would just go away. It had very little joy in it, very little joy that wasn't paired with some sort of guilt or some kind of shame. Really, the amazing thing is that it doesn't have to be this hard. There really is a better way. I've learned so much over recent years that has really made all of this just so much simpler for me and made food even enjoyable, like it should be. But if you're struggling like I was struggling, you're definitely not alone. I sent out a survey in my social spaces and I got over 100 responses back from people, and I was just asking people what their experience is with food. And the responses were relatable, but also just really kind of made me quite sad that so many of us are struggling with virtually every aspect of food. And it's not just the struggle and the stress, but for many of us, most of us, this is impacting our self-esteem. It comes with a lot of guilt, and even worse, it can come with a lot of shame. We can just feel like a constant failure. Like, why can't I just stick to things like I say I'm going to? Or why aren't I doing this as well as so-and-so? Always that so-and-so, and they're usually on social media and they're probably not doing as well as you think they are. When people filled out this survey, they shared things like, I dread the mealtime battle. The stress takes so much energy. One person even wrote that the only part that they consistently enjoy is pooping it out. So in this video, I'm going to share something that I have worked hard to put together that makes meal planning very simple. It's a lesson from a new Udemy course that I am just launching right now called Mastering Meal Planning, Stress Less, Enjoy More, and Thrive. The course, even though it's called meal planning, I called it that between you and I, because that's the #1 search topic on this topic, and you have to work with the search engine optimization for anything to work in life. But it's really just, the course is about food in general. And meal planning is a massive search term with SEO, but I've looked, and this course is completely different than anything else that's out there. All the courses that are out there are built for that big muscly guy or girl, and the courses are all about like your macros and counting your protein grams and what supplements to take to bulk up, and that's not who this course is for. I mean, that muscly guy or girl would still learn stuff from this course for sure, but this is designed for people who are prioritizing their health, people who are finding that food is taking up more mental energy, physical energy, more time, more money than they want it to, people who are struggling to stay on track. So here, right now, is one lesson from that course that really zeroes in specifically on meal planning. Hey, welcome back. Now, meal planning really doesn't have to be complicated, and I find it actually is the best when it's simplest. You know, there's lots of complicated templates out there and things that you can follow, but I find that these things actually really make it harder. What makes meal planning the smoothest and the most effortless for me is just when I have a simple consistent strategy that I follow every single week, and then some tools to support that. So for meal planning, there are 2 apps that I use that really just make all of this so much easier. One is Notion that I've been talking to you about already, and the other is another one called AnyList. And both of these you can get for free. There, I'm sure, are paid versions, but I've never used them. I don't think the paid versions are necessary. And you really can do it all just in Notion if you like. And I'm going to walk you through that in just a minute. What we're going to do right now is look at that Notion Toolkit link that you have in the video resources section. And I'm going to walk you through exactly what's in there. All right, so here we are in our activities kit, tools, and notes section for this meal planning course. So you can see this is my full Notion here that I have open right now. So you can see some of the things that I use it for. My homepage, I use it for journaling, everything to do with managing my YouTube channel, courses like these, it's all organized in here, everything to do with my day job, nothing confidential, obviously, but just general tasks and planning, my meal plans in here, budget, and so forth. So I really do think I was getting paid to evangelize this app, but I'm not. It just really has been a game changer. It's like my second brain in my life, and it frees up so much mental energy. So we can hide that because we don't need to see all of that, and we'll just focus on what we've got here. And what we're looking right now at is our meal planner. So we click on that. This is very simple. I've laid it out in a way that hopefully is just really easy to use. And this is exactly what I do every single week to stay on track of my meals. And I looked at other meal planners out there, and I looked at some other meal planning courses trying to see if there was something better or a way to beef it up. But anything else I find really just complicates things. And I think, yeah, I think this is the way to go. So what I've got here is just a really simple meal planner. It's just got the days of the week laid out and then all of your meals down the left. And from here, I have a reminder on my calendar to do this. For me, it's Thursdays. For whatever reason, Thursday is meal planning day for me. I get my groceries on the weekend, so I like to have this done in advance. I want to have my grocery list done and have it all ready to go for the weekend. But a good place to start is just by setting a reminder on your calendar, a repeating reminder to do your meal planning every single week. It all starts with just simply having a plan. And then we look at our meals for the week and we decide what we want to eat. And this is where that meal uniform that we talked about in the last lesson comes into play. So whatever we've decided on for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we're going to put in some options. So for example, like if we said our dinner uniform is 1 meat, 1 vegetable, 1 grain. We can put in some options for each of these. Maybe this week we want chicken. We want salmon. We want steak. And then vegetables, maybe we want, I really like raw vegetables, so this is just me. So I pick vegetables that are good to eat raw. So I like red bell peppers or capsicum, depending on where you live. I like carrots, cucumbers, snow peas. And then grains, maybe we want brown rice and quinoa. And there we go. We have our dinner uniform for the week, and then we look at our week and we start plugging that in under dinner. Now, everyone varies on this a little bit, and it's going to depend on what your tolerance is for eating things repeatedly. Meal planning is very simple if you can just plan the same thing for multiple days. I do the same thing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Monday through Friday, which makes it very easy. So whatever I plug in for breakfast, smoothie bowl, then for me, it's just a matter of the same thing for the next few days. But whatever you decide on, you're just going to plug it all into your chart, and then you're going to use that to create your grocery list. Now, when it comes to doing your grocery list, there are 2 options that I'm presenting here. If you're still using a pen and a piece of paper to do your grocery list, please stop. There is a much better way to do this, a much more efficient way for both planning and for when you're at the grocery store. So you can do it through Notion. I've plugged in here a grocery list template. However, I do use Notion for just about everything in my life, but grocery lists and lists in general is the one area where I typically don't use it because I found something that is better. So if you want, you can use Notion. You can access this on your phone. It's fine. It will work. You're just going to have to manually plug in your ingredients for all the different areas. But if you want to check out AnyList, I've got a link for that here as well, and also in the resources section of this course. And what AnyList does that I think is so great, and I'll do a screen recording here again as well, is that you can just create a whole bunch of lists. And I use this not just for groceries. As you can see, I've got lists for, like, I go to WeWork, co-working spaces, I go to the pool. Like, every time I go to the pool, before I had a list, I'd get there and I'd think, how did I forget this? Or how did I forget that? How am I always forgetting to bring water? So now it just simplifies things. I have a checklist, I look at it, I'm good to go. So I use it for, like, you see, hiking, vacations, what goes in my scuba dive bag, everything. And then you can also easily create lists for the different grocery stores that you go to. So I think all of us have different favorites and different things we find different places. So my 3 main ones are Trader Joe's, Safeway, and Gus's. And then when you go into each one, you can just start plugging in your items. And what makes this superior to me than over Notion, well, there's a few things for lists. But one, once you put it in, like, let's say you want strawberries, it's going to automatically categorize it for you. Let's see, add some chicken breasts, let's say, and that goes under meat. So everything gets nice and organized. So when you get to the grocery store, it's all ready to go. And you're like, okay, I'm in the produce section. What do I need from produce? And then you can just tap it off. Oops, you can add notes for quantity or anything that you want. And then as you're grocery shopping, you have 2 choices. You can either have it where all of the stuff you've crossed off is visible, or the simpler view that I prefer, which is where everything that's crossed off is not. And then as you go through, tick things off, and there they go. So that's it for grocery lists. Oops, I still need these. I can't read anything without my glasses these days. All right, so a couple quick things I just want to point out that are in this template for you in case you need it. Something to help with meal planning. One is looking at foods. When you're trying to save money, we can't always afford to eat organic. And when I recovered from my chronic health issues, I was living someplace where getting organic was really hard. This is when I was in Indonesia. So, I recovered from serious chronic illness eating virtually zero organic food. So if you can't afford it or it isn't available where you are, I don't want you to stress over it. But I think most of us have come to appreciate that when possible, eating organic is the preferable option to go. But not all produce is created equal when it comes to pesticides. So there's something called the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. So the Dirty Dozen is the 12 biggest or the 12 worst foods in terms of pesticides. So they're really heavily sprayed and they're going to have a higher toxic load when you eat them. So when possible, buying these foods organic is a good way to go. So things like strawberries, spinach, kale, apples, grapes, tomatoes, and so forth. And then there's also something called the Clean 15. So if you are on a tighter budget, when you are buying these 15 foods, you don't necessarily need to buy organic because the pesticide load isn't that high. And you can load this into your AnyList app as well. So that way, when you're in the grocery store, if you forget, you can just pull it up and be like, I can't remember, is pineapple on the good list or the bad list? And you've got it right there for you. I've also got some recipes in here for you. My system for, I have to wear glasses, but I don't like wearing them. So you notice I take them off whenever I can. But my number one system for finding recipes, I do obviously use recipe books as well, but is through Pinterest. And what I do is I just keep Pinterest as my homepage on my browser on my laptop. So every time I open my browser, Pinterest is there. And if you're not familiar with Pinterest, it just shows you a bunch of different things that it thinks that you might like. And it learns what you like based on the things that you click on. So or the things that you search, because it has its own search engine. So if you are searching for stews or soups or salads or chicken dishes or vegan dishes or gluten-free dishes, keto meals, whatever it might be, it's going to start showing you more and more and more of those items. And then when you have it as your homepage, as soon as you open your browser, you see it there. I always just take 10 seconds to give it a quick scan. And if there's something on that page that looks like something I might like to eat or try, and you can also, search things like quick meals or, 5-ingredient meals or 5-minute meals, and it'll start showing you those sorts of things. And then when things come up that look good to me, then I just very quickly add them to what they call a board, which is essentially just a filing system in Pinterest. And then you have your own homepage that has all of your boards or all of your categories of different topics. And you can just organize it by soups and stews and vegan meals and so forth. And from years of doing this, I have collected quite the recipe base of things that I like to make. So I've included all of that I have been collecting and organizing over the years, and I've loaded it into this Notion template for you. So there are a lot of meat-based recipes. So there's a whole section for like soups, whitefish, salmon, chicken, one-dish meals, and so forth. And then because I was plant-based for quite a while, I also have quite a few plant-based recipes organized by, breakfast, fermented foods, which I mentioned helped me a lot with my gut health, casseroles, sandwiches, and so forth. So all of this is here for you if you want to take a look. You can follow me on Pinterest. I'm just Raelan Agle, and see all of my stuff there as well. And you can start creating your own boards as well if you'd like by just making this your homepage and slowly building up your own recipe list of things that you like. All right, so in addition to those recipes, I also have found a lot of recipe books that I really like. And I've brought a selection here to share with you, and these are all also hyperlinked in that Notion template, and these are all listed along with all of the books that I mention in this course in the resources section of this course. So no need to memorize all of this. It's listed in multiple places, but I'll just go through them quickly and tell you why I love them. So we've got a few. One is Healthy Living James. James is someone who lived with the same chronic health condition that I did and then eventually fully recovered. So he really gets it and really knows that meals need to be simple and easy and fast to make. And he's got like gluten-free and dairy-free and vegan and all sorts of options in here. So this one to me is just amazing. And then a lot of what I've collected because of my long experience with health issues is things that are energy saving. So these aren't gourmet 5-star restaurant necessarily meals, although they are good. My goal is always going for simplicity. So another cool thing that I came across is 250 best meals in a mug. So these are really simple things that you could make in your microwave and a coffee mug. Things like Spanish tortilla. We've got cauliflower and goat cheese casserole, chickpea soup, edamame soup, Irish brown bread, Tex-Mex, French toast, scrambled eggs Florentine, mug granola. There's all sorts of things that are really simple that you just whip up one serving at a time and throw in the microwave and they're done. Another great one is the 5-ingredient lunchbox. So if you're looking for fast, simple things to throw together, this has a lot of healthy and speedy meals that you can make in minutes. And another hack or something that I find really makes meal planning or meal preparation easier, and we'll talk about this more in a coming lesson, is finding some small appliances that really work for you in your kitchen. Now, you don't have to get all of them, but just pick one that kind of seems like, yeah, I think I might really like that. And then just get some recipe books or some recipes off Pinterest around that and just stick to that appliance. I really like my air fryer. So I got a book, the complete book of air frying. Air fryers are really nice because they minimize the cleanup. Food comes out nice and crisp and tasty, and you can do small servings if you're not cooking for, a family of 10. And so this is a really great cookbook if air frying is something that you're interested in and appeals to you. Another one is when we're talking about Appliances, I really like my Instant Pot. Instant Pot, if you're not familiar, it is a appliance that does a whole bunch of things. It's a pressure cooker, it's a slow cooker, it's a sauteer, it's a rice maker, it's a steamer. It does a whole bunch of things, which is why I like it. And you just kind of throw everything in. It's a one pot thing, and it's good for when you're doing bulk food prep and you want to freeze stuff and have ready-made meals to go in the future. The air fryer is really good for that. And this book I found is one of my favorites, The Ultimate Instant Pot Cookbook for Beginners. And lastly, for quick and easy meals, this is the Big Book of Joe's Quick and Easy Meals. This one is nice because it's got pictures, which sounds kind of silly, but I'm always more likely to make something if I can see a picture of it. It just seems more appealing, and it's just got a lot of really nice options for quick and easy meals. All right, so now your turn. Your tasks, your assignment for this lesson is to make Pinterest your homepage on your browser so you can start collecting your recipes, and you can follow me on there if you'd like to have quick access to my recipes as well. If you haven't done it already, you can download Notion and then also get the AnyList app if that seems like something that you might find helpful. And then you can go into Notion and look at that meal planning template for the week and make out a 1 week meal plan for yourself so you've got that ready to go. So there was one lesson from my course, Mastering Meal Planning, Stress Less, Enjoy More, and Thrive. I really hope that you'll come join me in this course because I know that you'll walk away with it feeling that you got significant value from your investment. And if you finish this course and you feel that you didn't, it's 100% refundable, full money back guarantee. I can pretty much guarantee you that there is nothing else out there that you are going to get this much value from around the topic of food. It's years of my own personal struggle, years and years, followed by years now of success that gives me the 100% confidence that this stuff works. And if you put in the work, it will work for you too. The first cohort, my kickoff cohort for this course, is live right now, and I will be there every single day cheering you on. The link to join is in the video description, and I really look forward to seeing you there. This first kickoff cohort is at a reduced price, so with the promo in the video description, you will get it at 20% off. Big hugs to you. Thank you for watching. Whatever you're facing, keep at it. You have totally got this. You know you do. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it, and I hope to see you in the course.